For most of us, when a phone rings, it's just a minor annoyance, like a tiny distraction in our day.
Right. It's just background noise.
Exactly. You glance at the screen, maybe swipe to silence it, and get right back to whatever you were doing.
Yeah.
We are completely conditioned to ignore calls, especially if we don't recognize the number.
Oh, totally. I mean, who answers unknown numbers anymore?
Right. But I want you to imagine a completely different scenario. Imagine you are wedged in a 24-inch dirt crawl space underneath like a 50-year-old house.
Oh, that sounds awful.
It gets worse. You are wrestling with a heavy flashlight, you're wearing a tight respirator mask, and you're staring down this massive, active termite nest. And then that phone starts vibrating in your pocket.
You literally cannot answer. It is physically impossible in that moment.
Exactly. And in the home service industry, that unanswered ring is not just a distraction, it is the sound of hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars just evaporating into thin air.
Yeah, because the home service business, unlike retail or, software, is incredibly binary. A missed call is almost always a lost job.
It's brutal.
It really is. I mean, think about the psychology of the buyer in that exact moment. The customer who just found a termite problem in their living room isn't going to, calmly leave a voicemail and wait patiently for 2 hours while you finish up in that crawl space.
No way. They're in a complete state of panic.
Right. They're going to hang up, go right back to their Google search results, and dial the very next company on the list. They will keep doing that until a live human being actually picks up the phone.
And that brutal reality brings us to today's deep dive. So welcome. Today we are exploring a really comprehensive 2026 guide from the Service Agent blog. It's written by a reviewer named Shamhav.
And it's titled Best Pest Control Answering Services 2026, Top 7 Compared.
Yes, thank you. So our mission today is to uncover exactly how home service businesses, and specifically pest control operators, are attempting to solve this dreaded missed call crisis.
It's a huge problem to tackle.
It really is. We are going to dig into the source material to see whether human receptionists, fully automated AI, or maybe these new hybrid models are actually the best way to plug the leak and save the business.
I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because before we even look at the 7 specific platforms on this list, we really need to understand the fundamental tension that makes answering the phone such a nightmare for business owners in the first place.
Yeah. To really grasp the solutions, you have to understand the trap of how these answering services actually charge you. It's not as simple as a flat monthly fee in most
It
cases.
is way more complicated than that.
Totally. The industry relies heavily on 2 completely different billing philosophies. You have per minute billing and you have per call billing.
Let me put this in perspective for you, the listener, because the difference between these 2 models can literally make or break a small business. Let's say you go with a per-minute billing model. Think of per-minute billing exactly like sitting in the back of a taxi cab with the meter running, but you are stuck in terrible gridlock traffic.
Oh, that's a stressful thought.
Right. The longer your client takes to explain their terrifying wasp problem to the receptionist, the more money you are bleeding.
Yeah, because every single second counts.
Exactly. Every pause while they look for their credit card, every panicked, long-winded description of a bug adds actual dollars to your bill.
It adds up so fast.
But conversely, per-call billing is much more like taking a flat-rate Uber. You know exactly what the trip is going to cost before you even get in the car, whether that ride takes 2 minutes or 20.
That's a great way to explain it. I look at the per-minute model as something that actively punishes a service business for growing.
Wait, how so?
Well, think about the basic mechanics of how a pest control consultation actually works. These aren't simple hello-goodbye transactions. When a homeowner calls, they have a lot of questions.
That's very true. They want to know everything.
Exactly. The receptionist has to book the inspection, figure out the square footage of the property, and spend a significant amount of time discussing the safety of the chemical treatments for the caller's dogs or children.
Oh yeah, pet safety is a massive conversation.
Right. So during a busy spring or summer season, when the bugs are swarming, the volume of those calls just goes through the roof.
Okay, so you have way more calls, and every single call is a long, highly detailed conversation.
Precisely. And in a high-volume month, the source material notes that those long phone calls can easily triple an expected monthly answering service bill.
Triple. Are you serious?
Yeah. You think you're paying a few $100s and suddenly you get an invoice for $1,000.
I mean, that is just terrifying for a small business owner who is trying to manage tight cash flow. So if per-minute billing is this dreaded taxi meter that can explode your budget, why on earth would anyone willingly choose it?
Well, according to the guide, if you're willing to brave that meter, it is almost always because you are desperate for top-tier, uncompromised human interaction.
Ah, okay. The traditionalists, the premium brand protectors who completely refuse to let a bot talk to their customers.
Exactly. The source highlights three major players dominating this premium human-only space. You got Answer Connect, Ruby Receptionists, and Abby Connect.
Okay, let's start with Answer Connect, because this is the heavyweight of the group. Forbes actually named them the #1 answering service in 2025.
That's a huge endorsement.
It is. And that ranking is specifically because of their human-first model. Zero bots.
Yeah.
Zero offshore scripts. They use bilingual human operators, and they hold a 4.7 out of 5 on G2 based on their reviews.
Which is really solid.
But the starting price they advertise is incredibly deceptive. It starts at around $39 a month, but that's just a base rate to get in the door.
Right, because of the meter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because you are on that per-minute taxi meter, the overage charges, which run between $1.32 and $2.50 for every extra minute, can just hit you out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's a steep climb.
Plus, there is no built-in CRM or invoicing capability whatsoever.
I want to pause on that point, actually, because the lack of a CRM is a really critical detail here.
Gopher.
For anyone outside the tech or sales world, CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management. Think of a CRM as the ultimate digital filing cabinet for your business.
Okay, that makes sense.
It tracks every time a customer calls, what their past problems were, their address, and their billing history. Answer Connect doesn't provide that at all. They are purely providing a human being to answer the phone and take a message.
So they're essentially just passing you a digital sticky note.
Yes, exactly. But the psychology behind why a business owner chooses this is fascinating. With Answer Connect, reviewers consistently praise the sheer quality of the agents.
Meaning they sound like actual employees.
Yeah, users note that callers rarely realize they are speaking to an outsourced call center. It's all about relationship preservation.
But if you want to take that illusion of an in-house receptionist to the absolute maximum, you don't use Answer Connect. You look at Ruby receptionists.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Ruby is a different beast entirely.
Ruby is the premium tier. We are talking $319 a month for just 100 minutes of talk time.
Wow.
I know. If you do the math on that, that is over $3 a minute right out of the gate. And if you go over your 100 minutes, the penalty overage is $3.19 for every single minute. That is an incredibly extensive taxi ride.
It is a massive premium, but you have to look at the underlying mechanism of what you are actually buying with Ruby. You aren't just buying minutes, you are paying for proprietary technology.
What kind of tech?
Ruby receptionists have a system where they can actually call a client back using the pest control company's local office caller ID.
Oh, wow. Wait, really? So they are masking their actual location?
Exactly. So the caller genuinely believes they are speaking to an in-house receptionist sitting at a physical desk in their hometown, rather than someone sitting in a giant call center in, like, Portland, Oregon.
That is wild.
It is. According to the guide, G2 users report achieving a 100% answer rate on their main line, and the callers never suspect a thing. The illusion is totally flawless.
And then you have Abby Connect, which takes a slightly different angle on trying to maintain that human element.
Right.
They start around $279 a month for 100 minutes. But instead of your calls going to a massive random pool of agents where you get a different person every time you call, Abby assigns you a small, dedicated team of receptionists.
And how they operate is what really sets them apart. Because it's a small, static team, they actually learn your specific standard operating procedures over time.
That's a huge advantage.
It is. They learn that your company doesn't handle bed bugs, but you do specialize in termite baiting systems. If a customer calls back a week later, they have a very high chance of getting the exact same person who remembers their issue from the previous week.
Which is amazing for continuity. However, we have to note the downsides. The source explicitly mentions that G2 reviews flag aggressive upselling during the Abby Connect onboarding process.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And even worse, there are major complaints about spam calls counting against that very tight 100-minute allowance.
Oh, no. Which totally exposes the fatal flaw of the per-minute model in the modern era. Every single minute a telemarketer spends pitching your answering service is literally costing you $3.
That would drive me absolutely crazy. Paying $3 a minute for a robocall about my car's extended warranty? No, thank you.
Yeah, that's just burning money.
So, when you look at these three Answer Connect, Ruby and Abby, What is the core takeaway for the human purists?
I think it shows that these specific businesses prioritize brand reputation way above cost efficiency.
Makes sense.
The companies using Ruby or Abby are not trying to save a buck. They are intentionally paying a massive premium to manufacture the illusion of a local in-house staff. They fundamentally believe that their brand's trustworthiness depends entirely on that warm, flawless, human first impression.
But what if you don't need a premium illusion?
Yeah.
I mean, what if your brand is literally just we kill bugs fast
Yeah.
and you just need someone who understands how to dispatch a truck?
Right.
Or what if you are a brand new startup operating out of your garage with almost zero budget? You don't care about warm and fuzzy, you just care about survival. That brings us to the dispatch specialists and the budget lifelines.
That's a crucial pivot, because if you don't need the white glove illusion, the guide points us straight to AnswerForce.
Right.
They are purpose-built specifically for home services. They start around $259 a month for 200 minutes, and what makes them incredibly unique is that they are officially recommended by Field Routes.
Which is a major, complex software platform used by pest control companies to route their trucks, right?
Exactly. So AnswerForce agents actually understand dispatch context.
Meaning they aren't just reading a generic script that says, I will pass your message along to the owner.
No, not at all.
They actually understand the mechanics of the job. They know the difference between a homeowner asking for a routine quarterly perimeter spray and a primary school calling about an emergency wasp swarm near the playground. And they know how to escalate that urgency to the right technician.
Exactly. They get the stakes.
But I have to push back on AnswerForce here. I really do.
Oh, go ahead.
The source notes that AnswerForce charges a $99 one-time setup fee just to start using their service.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm sorry, but we are looking at a 2026 guide. We are well into the modern era of software. I can spin up a fully hosted, beautiful website in 10 seconds for free. Charging a $100 setup fee just to turn on an account feels incredibly dated. It feels like a hidden tax. Are they just stuck in the past?
I look at it a bit differently, actually.
Okay, tell me why.
While a setup fee might feel antiquated in the age of one-click software, you have to consider the actual mechanism of what they are setting up. Mapping out custom dispatch logic isn't automated.
Well, sure.
Creating an urgency matrix, literally defining which technician gets a text message for a wasp nest versus an email for a mouse sighting, requires actual human configuration behind the scenes.
But couldn't an AI just map that instantly? Why does it take $100 and a human?
AI can assist, absolutely. But integrating deeply with a proprietary routing software like Field Routes requires complex API handshakes and custom rule setting that is specific to the geography of that one pest control business.
Okay, I see your point.
Now, to your point, the Reddit users and reviewers mentioned in the source totally agree with you. They find the fee deeply annoying. But you are ultimately paying for that home service-specific readiness straight out of the box.
I hear you on the labor involved. I really do. But in an era where software access is basically instantaneous, asking a plumber or a pest control guy to cough up $100 just to turn the service on feels like a massive barrier to entry.
That's a fair criticism.
But fair enough.
Yeah.
Let's say $259 a month plus a $99 setup fee is still way too rich for your blood. The guide gives us the ultimate duct tape solution, and that is Voice Nation, which now operates under the Moneypenny USA brand.
Voice Nation is the ultra-budget option on this list, without a doubt. They start at roughly $59 a month.
Wow, that is cheap.
It is. They have over 20 years of history in this space, and they hold a very impressive 4.6 out of 5 on Trustpilot based on hundreds of reviews.
But to be explicitly clear for the listener, $59 gets you exactly what you pay for. When we say bare bones, we mean it.
Oh, absolutely.
There is no AI. There is no CRM integration to track your customers. There is no invoicing. It is just a live human answering the phone, taking a name, taking a number, and sending you a text.
Right. It is pure triage. It stops the bleeding.
Exactly. It is the absolute bare minimum lifeline for a solo operator who is just trying to keep the lights on and stop missing jobs while they're under a house.
But the danger is that eventually, if that solo operator is successful and their call volume grows, that $59 base rate is going to balloon rapidly because, again, they are trapped on that per-minute billing model.
Which brings us to the bleeding edge of the industry. Because if premium human services are incredibly expensive and the per-minute taximeter billing is a massive liability during busy season, what happens when we can completely remove the human limitations and throw artificial intelligence into the mix?
That changes everything.
This brings us to the tech disruptors of 2026. the hybrid models, and the full AI platforms.
This is where the business model itself fundamentally shifts. Let's look at the hybrid approach first with Smith.ai.
Okay, let's look at it.
Smith.ai uses AI to answer the phone and handle all the basic routine questions. But if a caller gets frustrated or the question gets too complex for the AI to handle, the system seamlessly escalates the call to a live North American human agent.
To me, it sounds exactly like a grocery store self-checkout lane.
Oh, that's a good comparison.
Right. You're scanning your own items, the machine is handling the barcodes and the simple stuff. But the second the machine flashes a red light because you bought an exotic piece of fruit that won't scan, a human attendant suddenly appears out of nowhere, types in the code, and saves the day.
That is a brilliant way to conceptualize it. The AI uses sentiment analysis and keyword triggers. If the caller says words like emergency or their voice pitch indicates anger, the human attendant steps right in.
That's incredibly smart.
And the best part for the business owner, Smith.ai uses the flat rate Uber model. They bill per call, not per minute.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah.
Their starter plan is $300 a month for 30 calls. So you know exactly what your absolute floor is. It's $10 a call.
Right.
If that call takes 2 minutes or 45 minutes to resolve, you pay $10. It is entirely predictable.
It is highly predictable, yes. But as the source material points out, a $300 minimum entry cost is steep if you are a low-volume operator who only gets, say, 5 calls a month.
That's true. It's a high floor.
However, they hold a massive 4.9 out of 5 on G2 with over 73 reviews. Users specifically praise how incredible Smith.ai is at converting off-hours leads. The AI filters out the spam calls instantly, handles the easy scheduling, and the humans are reserved strictly to close the difficult deals.
But even Smith.ai, with its great hybrid model, doesn't give you a built-in CRM or payment processing.
No, it doesn't.
If you want a system that actually manages the customer, from the first ring to the final credit card swipe, you have to look at the absolute newest player on this guides list. And that is Service Agent. This is the all-in-one AI platform.
Service Agent launched very recently, actually, in April 2025, and it represents a complete paradigm shift in this industry.
In no way.
It is a highly advanced AI receptionist, yes, but it is designed to completely replace your standalone CRM, your standalone scheduling software, and your invoicing tool entirely within one unified platform.
And the pricing model is what really caught my eye. There is absolutely zero monthly SaaS fee.
Which is unheard of.
It really is. And for anyone unfamiliar, SaaS stands for Software as a Service. It's that standard model where you pay $50 or $100 a month just to rent access to a digital tool. With Service Agent, the platform itself is totally free.
So how do they charge?
You only pay a flat per call fee when the AI actually handles an interaction. And according to the guide, early customers are reporting a staggering 75% booking conversion rate through the platform's public booking widget.
That is massive.
And that's alongside a 77% reduction in no-shows because the system automatically fires off SMS follow-up reminders.
If we zoom out and connect this to the bigger picture, Service Agent demonstrates that this is no longer just about answering the phone anymore.
Right.
It is about turning inbound calls into an automated front office that navigates a complex calendar, books jobs, and collects payments while the business owner is literally asleep.
Okay, I hear the pitch, but here's where it gets really interesting. I have to play devil's advocate for a second.
Go for it.
That 75% booking conversion rate is massive. That is an incredibly high number for a bot. Is that high conversion rate happening because the Service Agent AI voice is just incredibly persuasive, charming, and great at sales?
Great question.
Or is it simply because it is available to instantly book a confirmed calendar appointment at 11:00 p.m. on a Sunday when every other local human receptionist is totally off the clock?
You've hit on the exact crux of the AI advantage right there. It is almost certainly the latter.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Think about the user experience. When a homeowner turns on the kitchen light at midnight and discovers a roach infestation, they are grossed out and extremely anxious.
I'd be terrified.
Exactly. They don't necessarily need a charming, empathetic conversation with a human being. They want the relief of a confirmed time that a professional is going to show up and fix the problem.
They just want it handled.
Right. The AI provides instant gratification and absolute certainty. It checks the schedule, locks in Tuesday at 9 a.m., and sends a confirmation text. That speed and certainty is what converts the lead.
That makes total sense. The mechanism isn't charm, it's availability. But we do need to mention the one major limitation the guide points out for Service Agent.
Right. The lack of history.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Because it only launched in April 2025, it's just too new to have an established massive base of G2 or Capterra reviews. Early adopters on Product Hunt gave it a 5.0 out of 5, which is great.
But it's early days.
Yeah. So if you are the type of buyer who needs to see 100 enterprise-level reviews before making a decision, you are going to have to verify this one yourself on a live demo.
Due diligence is always required, especially when you are handing over your frontline customer interactions to a completely new technology.
For sure.
You also need to confirm their data security protocols. If an AI is going to be processing credit card payments and storing home addresses, you have to ensure they are using enterprise-grade encryption and security standards before you hand over the keys to your business.
Absolutely. Security is non-negotiable.
Yeah.
So we have covered a massive amount of ground today. Let's bring it all together for you, the listener.
Let's do it.
If you are staring down this missed call crisis in your own business, the choice ultimately depends entirely on your specific pain points and how you want to spend your budget.
That's the main takeaway. If you want to manufacture that premium, localized human touch, and budget is not an issue, Ruby Receptionists is your gold standard.
Right.
If you desperately need industry-specific dispatching, where the agents know exactly what a home service emergency looks like, you go with AnswerForce.
And if you are terrified of permanent overages and you want predictable pricing with a human safety net, the Smith.ai hybrid model gives you that $10 a call clarity.
Exactly.
But if you are ready to completely automate your front office, ditch your monthly software subscription fees, and let an AI handle the scheduling and the payments all at once, Service Agent is clearly the disruptor to watch.
And this isn't just a lesson for pest control operators, you know.
Right, it applies to everyone.
Whether you are running a service business yourself or you are just someone fascinated by how business operations work behind the scenes, understanding how the front line of customer service is evolving right now is critical to understanding modern commerce.
It's changing so fast.
It is. The traditional friction of making a transaction, waiting on hold, playing phone tag, waiting for office hours, is actively being erased by these tools.
It really is. The barrier between having a problem and paying to have it solved has never been thinner. And I want to leave you with a final thought to ponder today, something that builds on all of this, but looks a little further down the road.
Okay, so let's hear it.
We talked earlier about those premium brand purists who are paying top dollar for human empathy on the phone. But as AI voices become truly indistinguishable from humans, complete with pauses, breaths, and natural pacing will, frustrated customers actually start preferring the AI over the human.
Oh, that's an interesting thought.
Think about it. When you have a pest emergency at 2 a.m. and you are exhausted, panicked, and just want to go to sleep, maybe you don't actually want human empathy. Maybe you don't want to engage in premium small talk about the weather with a receptionist.
You just want it fixed.
Exactly. Maybe absolute speed, instant booking, and cold, hard efficiency is going to become the ultimate customer service luxury. Because at the end of the day, when you are the one stuck in that dark crawl space with a ringing phone, or you are the panicked homeowner staring at a wasp nest on your porch, you just want the problem solved right now.